So now that you have all of your supplies picked out, let's talk about labor. Here's your general options for labor. First, you can DIY everything. And that's a great option, but not all of us are skilled enough to do everything ourselves. There are a lot of really specialized skills involved in putting together a bathroom, so you might want to think about hiring some of the labor. Your next type would be a general handyman type person. So this is just kind of what people refer to as a guy with a hammer. He's a good all-around jack of all trades that can do everything. That can be one of your least expensive ways to get labor for your bathroom. But sometimes a guy who's a jack of all trades may not be good at every possible thing. Maybe that person's good at plumbing and electrical, but maybe they're not the best at drywall finishing, for example. So your mileage may vary there. But with a handyman type person, they're the ones who are most likely to let you DIY parts of the project. They're not going to mind if you say that you want to put in the vanity, but you want to have them put in the shower. You could also work with a general contractor who has subcontractors. This is usually the most skilled way to go, but it's also usually the most expensive. The general contractors usually do things like putting in the vanity or the sink, but then they're going to hire out the tile work. Maybe they bring in a plumber, maybe they bring in an electrician. Sometimes general contractors will not want you to buy the supplies. Sometimes they want to supply all the things. Partly this might be because they make some money on markup of the materials, but a lot of times it also is because they don't want to use those Lowe's and Home Depot materials. They want to use the higher quality materials that come from their plumbing supplier, their tile supplier. You can also DIY the general labor things and then hire specialists. So maybe you could install the tub, you could install the vanity, but then you hire a tile person and maybe you hire a drywaller or you hire an electrician. If you're looking at things to DIY, demolition can be the easiest thing to do yourself and save some money. If you demolish it yourself, you can also handle the disposal, and that can be a great way to save money. Sometimes if you have city trash pickup, you are allowed to put those large items out on your bulk trash day, and that's allowed as long as you DIY it. Those are the rules in my city. If I hire a contractor, I cannot put things out in my bulk trash, but if I do it myself, I can. Check with the trash rules in your city. By handling the disposal, you can also decide to sell some items. You might be surprised at how many of those items you can actually sell, especially things like vanities and faucets can be resold. So let's look at the type of work that you might want to hire a specialist for. Tile work can absolutely be done as DIY, but it does take some skill and it does require some tools like a tile cutter. Tiling a backsplash is less critical than tiling something like a shower. So if you're just getting started, you might want to start there. Plumbing is the absolute most critical work in a bathroom. So it can definitely be done DIY, but make sure you know what you're doing, especially if you're going to do in-wall plumbing. Electrical is an area that I think is one of the easiest to DIY, especially if you're just replacing things. Replacing a light fixture is actually a very easy project. Just watch some YouTube videos about how to do it and make sure the power is off before you take it down. When you're thinking about these things though, think about your local laws. In some places, plumbing and electrical work does require a licensed plumber or a licensed electrician. And sometimes even DIYing is not allowed by the local laws. As we're talking about laws, also think about what sort of permits might be required in your area. Some areas do require building permits for any kind of remodeling or construction, even if you are DIYing it.